a re-release this week of Last Tango in Paris, the cause célèbre from the early 1970s Bernardo Bertolucci movie, Marlon Brando and Maria Schneider. The story is, well, I say story, I use the word very advisedly. Marlon Brando at the beginning has lost his wife. She's committed suicide, or maybe she hasn't. Maybe Marlon was involved. Maria Schneider is a really irritating, hippy-dippy young thing whose irritating, hippy-dippy boyfriend is making an irritating film about her. They meet together in an apartment. No names, no pack drill. And they start having an intense, erotic relationship. And it goes on, and Marlon does an awful lot of mumbling. A couple of interesting facts about the film. The line "Go Get the Butter" was voted the 67th greatest line of all time by Premiere Magazine in 2007. Several cases were brought against the film on sort of trumped-up obscenity charges. I mean, it's interesting now seeing it. It's incredibly boring, but it clearly is not obscene. Over here, somebody from the Festival of Light attempted to prosecute it under the Obscene Publications Act, and then when that prosecution failed, they attempted to get it prosecuted as a record of a series of indecent acts between Brando and Schneider. But in fact, the even potentially racy content of the film is very, very small. Most of it is Marlon mumbling. And I think we have a clip of Marlon mumbling, and you need to remember this. This is the tipping point. When Marlon Brando began his career, there's things like On the Waterfront and, Guys and... I mean, he's a fantastic actor. There is no doubting it. He's a really fantastic actor. Later on, we get him being Kurtz in Apocalypse Now, a snail crawling along the end of... And then we get all those other performances like Superman, which is Marlon. If you actually read the script, we'll pay you $1 bazillion and you only have to turn up for one day, and the whole of the rest of the week you can eat pies, okay? Because then afterwards he gave up acting, so just wanted to eat. But anyway, here is a bit of Marlon. This is the point. He's just made The Godfather, so he's just won an Oscar, which of course he turned down. Remember, he sent Sachin Littlefeather to say Marlon doesn't want this. He's too busy eating pies, and incidentally, you're all horrible.
That was the real reason, was it?
It was, yes. Marlon would like to be here, but sadly...
He's eating a pie.
There's that thing in Viz magazine, which is that there's the shipyards up in Newcastle have been reinvigorated because they've got the contract to make a new pair of trousers for Marlon Brando, and it's going to last 4 years. I think the most interesting thing about it is it harks back to an age in which it was possible to make adult, serious movies. I mean, Bernardo Bertolucci is a proper filmmaker. He later made The Dreamers, which he considered to be first Tango in Paris, which had a great run-in with the American censors. And there is some nostalgic charm in Last Tango being re-released because people do not make films like this anymore. Catherine Breillat, who's the most pompous, boring French filmmaker, makes these terrible films like Romance, which are full of people, having wild, explicit stuff, but having a bad l'amour, in apartments that they really should, nothing to worry about, but they just moan the whole time.
Today we have run the full gamut of your European repertoire.
We have. I'm a little islander, as you know.
We haven't got to Hungary yet.
No, and we will get there in just a second. And so, on the one hand, as a historical document, fabulous to see it, and some people would hold that it is Brando's greatest performance. I think it is completely self-indulgent waffle of the highest order. Some of this, there's a speech in it which I can't quote, but if you've ever seen Flesh for Frankenstein, there's a fantastic speech in which Udo Kier pastiches it, in which he says, "To know death, Otto, you have to," and then fill in the blanks after that. So what I would say to you is this: if you want to go and see Last Tango in Paris, fine, go and see it. Believe me, take a cushion, because it's a long, drawn-out thing. But afterwards, watch Flesh for Frankenstein. It's shorter and funnier, and Udo Kier gets my vote over Marlon Brando any day.